Hello everyone. So I thought today I would film my birthday look. And so I've just put on some sunscreen and I've put on some of that by Terry CC brightening serum. And I'm now just putting on some colour corrector because I want a flawless finish for my birthday. And I hope you like the alliteration in the title. So I'm just putting on Charlotte's Magic Vanish in shades 3 and 2 and mixing them together and making sure that I have a really kind of flawless finish today. Okay, so for a base, what else with the title but Charlotte's Airbrush Flawless Foundation? But I mixed the two shades, the warm and the neutral together, and also a bit of shade 5 Flawless Filter. So all three were mixed together, and then I decided to really stipple around the areas where I'd put that colour corrector, and then the rest of it to buff it in. So you can see stippling around the cheeks, where I've got the hyperpigmentation, not as much now, thanks to the Inky List. And yeah, and then just buff around the areas where I don't need as much coverage or I haven't put the colour corrector. And I really went to town today because I thought I really want a flawless look. And making sure also that I went around my eyes and my eyebrows, and I wanted a really flawless look, but still quite glowy. Okay, I skipped a lot of this out because I was really going into detail, but as you can see, tracing around my brows, making sure I've done my ears, everything, so it's really flawless. Now, do any of you remember this? It's the under eye corrector by Charlotte Tilbury, I've forgotten what she's called it. What does she call it? You know the one I mean, the 2-in-1. It's got a serum one end and it's got a lightning one underneath on the other side. So I thought I don't really need concealer because I put the Airbrush Flawless Foundation on, but I could do with a bit of brightening just where the shadow falls under there. So I thought I'd do that. And then using Charlotte's technique, I put it into those nasolabial folds and also a bit around those lines that I have on my forehead. I was really enjoying taking my time today, so I will be skipping a bit of this because you really don't want to see all of it in detail, but I was really making sure that I went over everything and wanted a really flawless look. And I'd used this also, as you can see, to highlight certain areas. And that's a little trick, again, for lifting up the eyes, is to just highlight those corners because that will give you an eye lift. It's a bit like the trick of cleaning up your eyeshadow at the end. It just gives you a really nice lift to the eye area. So next is Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder, shade 1, around my eyes and the areas that are highlighted, and shade 2 on the rest of my face. So I will skip some of this because you don't need to see it all. So this is my new by Terry Bronze Moon eyeshadow stick. Ombré Black Star it's called, isn't it, in Bronze Moon. And I'm just going to use this as a primer to prime my lids, ready for something else today. Okay, so I'm then going in with the McGrath Divine Rose Mothership 7 palette, and I'm just showing you the two colours I'm using. I'm going to use that one, the lightest one first, and then the darker one below. So there's the lighter one going on, so I'm putting that first in the socket, and then I'm going in with the darker one. So the lighter one is acting as a kind of transition shade, although it's probably a bit dark to be a transition shade, and then the darker one is just building up the intensity in that lid. So you know it had to be done, don't you, that I had to use my favourite shadow from this palette, which is that VR Rose Venus, I think it's called. I just love this. I love the duochrome of it, so I just had to use it. But I tried to do something different in a minute, so I used the other palette by McGrath, the other rose palette, the quad, which you will see in a minute. So here it is coming up in a minute. You will see the Blitz Astral Quad in, I think it's called Seductive Rose, isn't it? And I'm taking that purple shade in the corner and I'm just mixing a bit of that into the outer edge just to give a kind of transition from very light to medium to dark right in the corner. Just to give a bit of a different effect. And I quite liked it. So now I'm using the lightest shade there to highlight under my brows, as you can see. And then I am taking something else, which I didn't... yes, the darker shade. The darkest shade in this palette. And I'm just using that. It's a matte shade, just to do that V shape on the outer corner to further intensify the look. Because what the hell, it's my birthday, I'm not going anywhere, but I can look glam indoors, can't I? And I'm just going to blend that in after I've applied it with the smudge brush. Okay, I'm just showing you the other very light shimmery shade, which has got a really intense light reflective quality to it. Just a really unique formula, and I thought I'll pop that in the corner of my lid there, and I'll also pop a bit in the centre of my mobile lid just to really make the eyes stand out. It's so much better when you apply these shimmers with your fingers. It's not just me being lazy. Okay, that's me showing you the La Roche-Posay black pen eyeliner, which is really good if you've got sensitive eyes. And I'm now just going to draw a nice defined line on my upper eyelid. Watching it's making me want to slow down speaking because I feel I've got to concentrate, even though I'm not doing it now. I'm just doing a voiceover. Okay, so it's now 1 o'clock in the morning. I fell asleep after lots of cake and takeaway dinner. So this video is going to go out late. That's just an aside. So this eyeliner that I'm using is, I got the blue and it's actually by L'Oreal. I said it was by somebody else earlier, but it's L'Oreal Gel Infallible Eyeliner. And this one is the best blue eyeliner, other than Daniel Sandler's, that I've ever used, and it stays on beautifully, and it's such a lovely vibrant cobalt colour. So next we have the Benefit Big Gal Bang mascara I'm applying. So next it's my brows, and gave them a good brush to put them up in the right direction. And then I used, what did I use? Oh yes, I used Precisely My Brow by Benefit to line and fill my brows. And then after that, I used Charlotte Tilbury legendary brows in shade Supermodel, and this shade for Benefit My Brow is shade 5. Oh yes, I'm going for the full works today. So we then have the heated eyelash curler to curl up my brows, and this really does make a big difference. I don't always do it, but it's so worth it because it really lifts the eye when you've curled your lashes well, and this works so beautifully. Okay, I've been seeing a lot of corally blushes at the moment coming out. There's a new one by Guerlain which sold out almost immediately after really reviewed it, but this one is MAC and it's called Style, and it always looks lovely on. So we have Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow, but it is in dark, medium to dark. And I hope you all enjoyed my little demo of the highlighter earlier on, and how to suspend your disbelief and just apply it as a highlighter, and it works. Although I didn't use that as a highlighter today on this particular film, but you'll see that in my live. Yeah, so that one really works really well on my skin tone, especially at the moment as I'm a little bit darker. And then I decided that I was going to mix Pinkgasm and Goldgasm, and I just loved this. I just looked and thought, that's going to go with my eye makeup that's on the mobile lid. And when I mixed them together, it just looked beautiful. So if you've got Pinkgasm and Goldgasm, go and mix them. It really works. In a minute, I'm going to show you on my hand what it looks like. I just couldn't get enough of this stuff once I'd seen it on my hand. So I hope you've seen that, but I will make sure it's in the camera shot. Forgive me, I just love this so much that I just went a bit over the top. But, you know, it's my birthday and I'm not going out anywhere. No one's going to see me. I'm not going to look ridiculous. And There you go. I just loved the look of this on my hands so much that I just had to douse it everywhere that I could possibly imagine. So I love doing this. It doesn't sort of make sense, but it does. Um, Whereas I put the medium to dark bronzer on my face, I then used the light to medium contour wand so that the contour just was subtle, but the bronzer was a little bit more intense. I love doing stuff like that. Yeah, I just really enjoyed doing this makeup today and just taking my time and being creative. So next up we have the Pillow Talk Medium Lip Cheat by Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm lining my lips and filling them in. And then after that I put on the Pillow Talk, well, that I'll show you in a second. Here we are. I haven't used this for a while, but I suddenly fancied using it today. It's Pillow Talk Lucky Diamonds. It looks really nice. I always make sure that I fill in my lips with lip liner before this goes on. Otherwise, it makes my lips sore because of the glitter particles in it. It's fine as long as I've got lip liner underneath, but I don't apply this to bare lips or it makes my lips sore. But doesn't that look pretty? Yeah. So last up, all the finishing touches here. I'm using the Tolerian Ultra 8 spray, which I'd forgotten to tell you about in my recent videos, but it's so refreshing and a great finishing spray. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you all later for a quick live. Okay, take care. Oh dear, this is so funny. I tried to whiz up my hair with some thickening spray and make it look deliberately messy, but I just look like Wurzel Gummidge. So I decided that just doesn't work, and I changed it. Yeah, that's better. The headband is going to have to stay until we get to the hairdressers. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you so much for all your birthday wishes today. I've had a great time. Not what I would have normally expected, but I had such a lovely day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.